What's up, bro?
What's up?
You alright?
Yeah, man.
Everything going your way?
Hey, man, it's another day, man. Another day at the office, man.
I can dig that. I can dig that. Give everybody a few seconds to get in.
What's
Gas
that?
mask, what it do, bro?
What's that smooth sexual chocolate shit you got playing in the background?
An idea.
Okay. That's you right there. Okay.
It's just an idea, dog. It's just an idea.
Is that one of them songs from that album that you never released?
2010, what's up? Cold Heat, what's up? Excuse me?
I said, is that one of them songs from that album that you never released?
Yeah.
Oh,
Knowing what it
okay.
do.
Okay.
Hey, bro, I think I'm finna release it, bro. I'm just gonna release like singles while I work on some new stuff.
I told you to release. I told you release some of them records. Go ahead, let them go.
I, yeah, cause I mean, some of them a little dated, but like 65% of it still sound good. So
Hey man, let that music go, man. What's good with y'all, man?
it's smoother. I will say though, I like driving to this though at nighttime, especially with all this rain going on.
Yeah, it's that smooth sexual chocolate music.
You a fool, bro.
I'm just saying, that's that good Randy Watson right there.
Hey, Jackson Heights on.
Uh huh.
Observer thoughts. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Oh, you want it with your legs up.
From the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and give it for my band, Sex and Chocolate. They play so beautiful, don't you agree?
Since y'all in the clapping mood, you know what I'm saying?
that boy bad. That boy bad.
Good and
Oh
terrible.
man, best scene of the whole movie, bro. Best scene of the whole movie. So shit, bro. What you been listening to, man?
Hey man, I'm always listening to a lot of older music. A lot of the classics, a lot of stuff that we grew up on, even a lot of stuff that was out before we was born. But yeah, you are you referring to the homework that I gave you? Is that what you referring to?
All right, so let me give you hey gas mask food, not Randy Watson. that boy bad. Yeah, so everybody, give you a backstory. Architect gave me this R&B playlist to go listen to or what have you, and I listened to it today. Some of the songs I had heard, some of the songs I hadn't heard, and I would say this, bro. Driving, listen to that shit. I was like, R&B finna be in a good place if like this way it's finna go, cause like it was how can I say it? Some of the shit was like modernized, but it still had them elements of like what we like. Like for example, the Kalani, what is it called?
Folded,
Folded,
folded. Yeah,
folded. Like I could hear the one shot guitar
yeah,
or what have it, but like the way bro had the modern strings in there now or whatever, like with that shit, but it still had the bass line. It still had like I don't know if it was a I don't want to say it was a rim, but like a rim snare, whatever. Like it still had them older elements, but like
yeah,
he took it and then like the way Kalani and I ain't even no Kalani fan like that, but like them two records, that record and the record Friday, I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, like that. I don't want to say made me a fan, but that folded record made me be like, you know what? If she put out another song, I listen to it. I won't
yeah,
even go. I won't even go past it. But I mean, too though, the fact that Dre from Dre and Vidal produced it, I could hear like I put it like this. I was expecting it to be good.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Because of what his track record of what he done
yeah.
produced or what
You do
have you.
you do you have you got the playlist in front of you?
Yeah.
Can you just rattle off the song? So basically, just to let y'all know, you know, me and Will, me and King have conversations often. Just talk about the state of music, how we feel about music, And I was just telling him I've been listening to some of the newer R&B music, and I was saying I've been seeing a trend, just that a lot of the stuff that we like, a lot of the stuff that we grew up on, that a lot of it's coming back. And overall, people talk about, like music not being in the best place. And I was just saying with some of the stuff I've been hearing, I feel like it's getting back to a place where, like people are making a certain caliber of music and they going back to, like some of the old formulas that worked. And ultimately, just from a sonic perspective, with people like myself and, people like King, something that we've experienced sometimes is that, people may feel that some of the sounds are dated. Like I had like a prominent, what I'm saying, person in the industry, I won't name, but they done wrote a lot of hits for a lot of people that you love, a lot of big artists, you know what I'm saying, platinum, you know what I'm saying, multi-platinum selling records or whatever. And this person, told me that, my song sounded dated, you know,
You never gonna let
and
that shit go.
I felt the way about that because for me personally, I felt like, for one, a lot of these sounds, like are timeless and they're,
Mhm.
they don't go away. And just that it's all about context. And so it's like, for instance, to say that certain sounds are dated when all people are doing now, especially a lot of the music, is sampling 90s and early 2000s music. To say that, okay, if I'm using a sound that was popular in 2003 or a sound that was popular in 1995 or whatever the case may be, if I'm using those sounds and you saying, oh, it sound dated, whatever, I feel like for a lot of people they just they out of touch and they don't understand. They just going with what's trendy, and they feel like, oh, like, what make me hip is that I know what the new people is doing. But it's like, if we keep referencing the same records, if when you go out, like you go out to a lounge, you know what I'm saying, you go out to a club or you go out to like a restaurant that play music, they not playing new music like that. They still playing a lot of the same older music. And it's not
Mhm.
because, like people just is not open to hearing new music. It's because that music still has a connection with people, you know what I'm saying, and people still react to it out in public, you know what I'm saying. And so ultimately, I just been telling King, I just been like, yo, like some of the things that we talk about, like some of them old like Korg Triton sounds or like them old rolling sounds like the JV 1080, all of that that people would say is dated, or what I'm saying, people would say like, oh, that's that, from this time period or whatever. That being as though a lot of people have been sampling a lot of these songs from that time period, rather than sampling them, like we're starting to have more original compositions and new music being made with some of those older sounds because people are already looking to get that sound. Like you got kids that was born in the 2000s that never heard nothing from the 90s, and they going back and discovering some of this 90s music, this 90s R&B music, some of this 80s R&B music, 70s soul music, and they hearing it and they intrigued by it because it's good music, and you having songs from back then like reappear and resurface, you know what I'm saying? Like even songs from the early 2000s get, like a new, light, or like get a resurgence because you got these kids discovering this music. Um, so I was just saying, people say, things go in cycles, things come back, things repeat themselves. So I was just saying that, a lot of stuff that we like in music, I feel like it's starting to slowly come back. And so I made this playlist for, King, because I listen to, um, we both keep our ears open, but I would say sometimes I might listen to
Nah,
more
yeah,
more
you more
newer
open
stuff
than
than
yeah,
he will. You know what I'm saying? We both listen to a lot of older stuff, but I might listen to more
yeah.
newer stuff than he will. So I was just telling him like some of the trends I've been noticing and how like these sounds is coming back. So um, we can go through this playlist that I made for him, and we could you could just tell them like what was on the playlist so they can kind of get
Gotcha,
a feel for it.
gotcha. And before we even get into it, like just to piggyback, like on something you said, like I have been looking at like I'm always looking at old keyboards and shit like that, but you could tell that it's a craze for all these sounds because these older keyboards, like literally from when my grandma died, like in April. So like January, February, March, April, May. Like so in May, when I was looking at like them M3s and them Motifs or whatever, bro, I kid you no story. Because it's a demand for these sounds now, these keyboards are like back up, bro. Like the same motif that I paid like 650 for, I can get like 1050 for now. And then
Yeah.
like if a motherfucker got, bro, they got Trinities online, old ass Trinities going for like 1,200, bro. Like in perfect condition and shit like that. Like at the top of the year, them folks was giving away them keyboards for like $400-500.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's like the value on. That's why like I love having older equipment because it's like stock. Like bro, MPCs are back high as fuck. Like that 60 I'm trying to get is like almost four bands. When like at the end of last year, 1,800, 1,900. So it's like it's a demand for all of these dated older sounds now. Like, cause if you look at like any producer that's like got placements or whatever now, like bro, like they got all these older keyboards just like sitting there now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But the playlist, you got what you want to take it song by song, or how you want to do this? You tell me.
Well, first, just tell them all the songs that's on there, and
All right,
then
so
we can go through and break down a few of the a
feel the
few of the
ones that stuck
favorites.
out.
Can you are you able to play like a snippet of any of them or not?
See the way this shit is, if I play the snippets, it's gonna fuck me up.
Oh, all right, never mind it. So just
It's
yeah,
gonna,
just
yeah.
just just tell them the names of all of the songs that's on
Uh,
there and the artists or whatever.
so we got "That's You" by Lucky Day, "Yes It Is" by Leon Thomas, "Little Things" by Ella May, "Attention" by Bryson Tiller, "That Keep Going" by Mario, "Fine Shit" Vito, "Heart of a Woman" Summer Walker, "Burning Blue" Mariah the Scientist, "Residuals" Residuals by Chris Brown, "Saving My Love" Friday and Kalani, "Folded" Kalani, and "Back of the Club" by KWN.
Yeah. So with this playlist, I was like, I wanted to pick all songs that came out, for the most part within the past year. So from like 2024 up until now, like all of these songs are either from 2024 or 2025. You know what I'm saying? So these are all relatively new songs. And these are all relatively new songs that have some elements of, like classic, old school songs, whatever the case may be.
What's going on,
Um,
Mr. Hilby? What's going on?
what's going on? What's going on? So all these songs on this playlist, are all songs that, like I said, they have some of those elements of some of those '90s, 2000 songs, or even some of them have like the older soul, like some of that '70s type feel, like the Leon Thomas record or like the Lucky Day record.
Mhm.
But yeah, like so from the playlist, like what were some of your favorites? What were some of your favorite songs?
All right, so what I'll do is I'll give you my top. I'll give you my top three because it's a lot of them.
Okay.
But and what's crazy is "Folded," saving my love, and then that I like that Vito, that fine shit. But it's the thing though, I cannot leave off that "Keep Going" by Mario because Mario was singing his ass off, bro.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like it was like, oh, motherfuckers ain't vocal performing like this. Like, bro can really sing. Like it's crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
but and then the track was so like just R&B, man, smooth chords, like
yeah,
the percussion, the rhythm section, like the lead, like that track alone just get like y'all go listen to it, man, in y'all spare time. I wish I could play it on here, but I ain't trying to get messed up because I already be getting messed up for all them samples I be doing in the daytime. But it's called "Keep Going," parentheses by Mario. Man, you talking about good singing, good songwriting, and then the production, bro. Like the production just it got a vibe and a move of its own. Like I would listen to the instrumental of the
yeah,
production alone, and then once you put his vocals and that songwriting with it, that's like a perfect marriage of like how R&B song is supposed to sound.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree. And if you just tuning in right now tonight, we talking about some newer, R&B songs, that have that classic or nostalgic feel to it because we often talk about people that are really into music, we often talk about the state of music and how things could be better, the quality could be better. And, I like to be a glass half full type of person. So I was like, all right, let's highlight some of the newer songs out now that, that's doing things right. You know what I'm saying? And some of the newer songs out now that, like I said, had those elements, of some of the stuff that, we grew up on and some of the stuff that we like and that we keep referencing and keep going back to, to influence our productions and influence our songs. So, that's what we're talking about. We were talking about this Mario Keep Going record, Folded by Kalani, Saving My Love by Friday, featuring Kalani as well. We were talking about these records. Those were some of King's favorite records from this playlist that I made of some newer R&B songs that came out within the past year that, kind of exemplify, those qualities that we speaking of. So one thing that I wanted to touch on too is that we got different eras going on. So like some of the songs have like 90s influence, some of the songs have 80s influence, some of the songs have early 2000s influence. I wanted to talk about that K1 record, that Back of the Club. Um, I like that record and I like her a
Mm-hmm.
lot because like she's a younger artist. Like, she's in her early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but this she's in her early 20s and also she's not from the US, she's from England. And she has that, the newer modern sound, like, she definitely has some auto-tuning voice, whatever the case may be, but she has that nod to like that, 90s, early 2000s R&B, like with the production you can hear like the
Mm-hmm.
um uh, uh, like the keyboard guitar sounds like that you used to
Mm-hmm.
hear like in like Dark Child production or
Yeah,
whatever the case
yeah,
may be.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the bridge on that song sound real 90s. Like we be missing bridges. And for
Yeah.
me, I was impressed to hear a bridge on a song by an artist that's in their early 20s because a lot of these songs, because they're so short now, you don't have bridges, you don't have vamps, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
outros, you don't have musical interludes where like you just have a guitar solo for a second. Everybody, like wants these songs to be like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds now, so a lot of these songs, you don't have that, point where the singer just going off at the end of the song or,
Yeah.
like that build up and that crescendo.
This right here.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that steady incline. So I was just
Uh-huh.
I was just impressed to hear a newer artist, like just have a song that had that feel to it and also that had a bridge to it and also like she has these like choral kind of like background vocals like that come in and out of her songs that kind of like it's great ear candy.
Mm-hmm.
Like um I just think some of those things are very important and things that may be overlooked
Mm-hmm.
and some of the music just because like it doesn't fit the mold or it's just like because everybody's like oh like you don't need that much, keep it simple, whatever the case may be. Like people don't do background vocals all the time like they used to, like people don't do bridges, people don't add some of that ear candy in, like they used to. So it's good to hear that we have these newer songs that are incorporating those techniques and incorporating those important things that just keep us interested in the song and keep us listening over and over again because we want to hear that one harmony or we want to hear that guitar solo or we want to hear um just like how they layered or how they stacked their vocals or that little one thing that little one sound in the production that you might not have heard the first time you listened, but you went back and listened the second time and you heard something that you didn't hear before.
Hey, appreciate that sauce money. Appreciate the super chat too, bro. I got you. We gonna talk tomorrow, Brody. But one thing I say about all of these records though, bro, every last one of them, it was good music. It was well produced. It was the song was wrote perfectly. The backgrounds were there. The harmonies was there. Like every last one of them, they were crafted. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't okay. I can put it like this: when they made them songs, nobody was on that. I got to make 20 beats a day. Like if them folks said they like took like a week to make them records or whatever, I could believe it. But like how we was talking about Monday, like everybody tried to make a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like It
Yeah.
was just well put together. Like it wasn't no fluff. It wasn't no rush. Like they might have They might have took a couple days to record them vocals. They might have did overdubs. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just
Yeah.
well put together.
Aunt Dizzle was good. A Major was good. Mr. Hilby was good. Sauce Money, Cold Heat, Intricate. You know what I'm saying? Just shouting out some of the people in the chat, man. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? We talking about, some of the newer current R&B songs, that we feeling. I was putting King on to some newer R&B songs, some newer R&B music that's come out. Like I said, that has that classic sound, that has some of the things that, we really love in music, like when you take your time and you add in those important sounds, add in that ear candy, add in those background vocals, those things that take time but they're important, that shouldn't be overlooked just because we're trying to make a song 2 minutes and 30 seconds, or just because we're like, all right, we got what we're looking for, we got the vibe or we got the feel, so that's enough,
Hmm.
versus taking the time to be like, nah, let's have more than a vibe, let's have a moment, like King was saying.
Hmm.
um, so I also want to kind of break down, just like within this playlist, that, like I said, you have different eras, right? So like I would say about 3 or 4 of the songs kind of fall into like a 80s category, as far as they had that
Hmm.
80s kind of influence,
Yeah.
with like the drums and like the those synths and pads from the 80s. You got that Bryson Tiller Attention that
Hmm.
has that on there, has those 80s drums, it has that kind of 80s like synth, kind of sounds. You have the Mariah the Scientist Burning Blue, also has that type
Hey,
of feel on it.
that burning blue, that just gave me Prince, like
Yeah, yeah,
off
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
off the cuff. Like it's like, all right, if Prince said he did that, I would believe it. Like I could tell, like they channeled some Prince when they was
Yeah, yeah,
when they
yeah. It
when
definitely had that. It definitely had that.
when they was doing that or what have you.
Yeah, 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 for
Um,
sure. So yeah, I like that record. I was surprised by that record. Then you had which a lot of people have heard, that Chris Brown Residuals. That also has that 80s, you know what I'm saying, kind of feel to
Pad.
it. Yeah, 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 with the
That.
pads and also the drums, you know what I'm saying? The
Hmm.
drums, like all of those songs have those drums that's like from those drum machines, you know what I'm saying, that, that have that sound that we like, that we chase, like them DMX drum machines, the Roland TR8 808 drum machines, and all the other Roland drum machines.
And man, you know what's crazy, bro? Like when you listen, now that you said it, like when you think about like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, like even the stuff that they did, like with them older drum machines or whatever, like bro, it just sounded so crispy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about like the Human League stuff or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like or hell, even like the new edition stuff, like with them crispy drums, and then when they put them pads and them textures on top of that stuff, it's like, damn.
Yeah, yeah,
Dang.
yeah, yeah.
And the crazy part about it is if you really go listen to like them older drum machines, like you say, like the 808s, the you know the name. I'm having a mind blank. But just basically any old drum machine, like the bosses,
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
them
yeah.
type of things or whatever, like the sounds might not be like crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, now, but it matched what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the
yeah.
textures, like it just blended
Yeah,
so
no,
well.
it
Like,
had a certain, and part of that blending though is like, of course, like they took their time with those sounds, because a lot of those sounds are still used and recycled to this day, even if people don't know where the original sources came from.
mm-hmm,
Because a lot of these drum kits, the people don't realize, a lot of these drum kits that are recycled, that have some of the same sounds in it, like a lot of these drum sounds are some of the same drum sounds from some of these drum machines or from old records that they're recycling, that they may reprocess them, or sometimes not even reprocess them, sometimes just take the sound and put it in a new kit, whatever the case may be. A lot of them came from a lot of them old drum machines because they took the time, to record these sounds, to truncate these sounds a certain way,
mm-hmm.
or if they were synthesized sounds, like they took the time to just make sure, like, they EQ'd them, or just make sure those sounds sounded a certain way. And then when you pair that with, you know, it going through like a SSL board or going through a Neve board or something like that, you know, a lot of the times on some of them records, like it didn't really take a lot of mixing, or it didn't really take. I mean, mixing is important for sure, but one thing that, you know, a lot of people don't know and don't realize is that like a lot of those records, especially from um, like the late '60s, early '70s, like that feel good, that sound good. A lot of them records weren't really mixed like that. Like it's really just
No.
they recorded them well, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, they leveled them well, you know, and
Yep.
then after that, it's just the feeling. It's great musicians, it's great singers, you know, like a lot of people don't realize a lot of the Motown music, a lot of that stuff is distorted. Is a lot of that
Mm.
stuff is very saturated.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but it's like it's a feeling. Like it feels good, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's well put together to where you're not even listening to, you know, the that aspect of it, you know,
Hmm.
um like I had a teacher, you know what I'm saying, when I went to Full Sail, like I had a teacher who was just like, he was an old school engineer, you know what I'm saying, like worked with Bob Marley back in the day, like worked with a lot of like, you know, people back in the day. He was just talking about like how, you know, like first thing people do is like reach for EQ. He was like, man, like the school that I come from, like we didn't have all of that like that. You know, like EQ was a luxury. So like he picked up a microphone and was like, this right here, this is your first EQ. Like
Mm-mm.
your mic choice, like what microphone you decide to use, how you decide
Yeah.
to place that microphone. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all of that is, you know what I'm saying, that's your first line of defense. So that's the first thing to really craft, you know, your sound at the end of the day. So that's something that they took their time with, you know, more back in the day, to where it was like, all right, it's not as much, you know, fixing things. It's like, okay, we're gonna try to get it as right as we can from the
Can
beginning.
folk.
You know what I'm saying?
But
So that's important.
but you know what? Two things. Like when you say like with the mic, like like when you micing drums, like when you got that snare drum, it's different ways you can put that, mic in that snare drum, like off center, on top, one at the bottom, and all of them play with like the tonality the same way with like if you're micing the choir, we can do mics right here. We can play with the corduroy patterns of the microphone to get like different sounds and different shapes and shit
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So that's real important. And then the same way, like modern times, like when we producing and making music, like bro, if you just got good sound selection and your sounds is processed right, when you go to mix, all you gotta do is just adjust the faders. You ain't gotta
yeah, yeah,
do all that extra stuff on your 808 or your kick to make it sound right. Nah, just get a punchy kick or
yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
kick that's gonna cut and it is gonna sync with the bass or what have you. So that's so true.
Like one thing I learned from Dr. Dre, right? One thing I learned from Dr. Dre is like, you know, truncating your sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that just means like basically like um shortening your sounds, like
Mm-hmm.
your start and your end time and your
Yep.
envelopes on your sounds. Like I noticed how precise he was with the way that he truncated his sounds, because like I could listen to a Dr. Dre beat and it could be a break beat that's been used 1,000 times before that we all know. But it'd be like, rather than him like looping the break, he may just take a snare from the
Mm-hmm.
break, and let's say he take that snare, he layer that snare with another snare, and he does it in a way to where like it's like he'll truncate in a way where he leaves just enough air that, you know what I'm saying, like it still has some life
Mm-hmm.
to it, but then, you know what I'm saying, like he won't leave too much air that, you know, like it doesn't sound tight or it doesn't sound punchy. So like
Mm-hmm.
he'll do that and then, you know, EQ it, compress it some, whatever the case may be, and, you know, and make something new with it. And so that was one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I really noticed, you know what I'm saying, about his production, you know what I'm saying, just was okay, that attention to detail, to be like, okay, I can use some of the same breaks that we've been using, you know, some of the same things that, been existed in hip hop, but I can do it my way by, you know, the way that I layer this snare, or the way that I truncate this, you know, this snare or this kick drum, you know what I'm saying, and the way that I layer this kick with this 808 behind it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different, you know what I'm saying, than somebody else would. And it's gonna get me, you know, a certain sound, you know, in a certain way that ultimately is gonna set me apart, you know, and that's what I noticed, you know, just that the cleanness in Dr. Dre's music a lot of times is just going in with that intention because he's like, okay, well, when a lot of people were just straight sampling the records, he was replaying some of those, you know, songs and some of those records so that he can have it be, you know, cleaner. And then rather than just, you know, looping the breakbeat, which, you know, there's some records where he did loop the breakbeat, but a lot of those records, like, he might not just loop the breakbeat, or if he does loop a breakbeat, he might layer some other drums behind it to reinforce it, you know what I'm saying, to make it stronger.
Cause I don't know if you remember, I think it was like me, you, Swiffer, but you pulled up the original for that California.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
and then we was like, you was telling me, you was like, bro, listen to the way them horn players got control. He was like, man, them niggas replayed that shit. And I was like, oh shit.
yeah,
They
yeah, yeah, yeah,
did
yeah,
replay that shit. But you could hear it like the attitude, like the tension, like it was more like in than what the sample was or what have you. So nah, that
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
that
I
is
ain't
true.
I ain't know you went to Omega A major. Definitely like, you know, processing. You know, it's like when I think of processing, you know, I think of like, why do I want to process something? Like, or why do I want to, you know, take this sound and manipulate it? Like, what's the reasoning behind it? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it something in it that I don't like, something that I want to fix, something that I want to change? Because sometimes it may be, oh, I need to use a different sound. But like, let's say if I like the sound, but I just want to enhance it, okay, maybe I layer it with something else, or maybe, you know, like it's a certain frequency range that I want to accentuate because I'm like, okay, well, I like how the bottom sounds, but you know, like I want to get that crack on that snare, so I might
That
pull up
sizzle,
like
yeah.
300 hertz or 350 hertz, so that snare knock you in your chest. You know what I'm saying? Or like on the kick drum, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like I want this kick drum to be able to be heard, like you know, on the phone or you know what I'm saying, like on the computer speakers if somebody not listening, you know, on the best system. So on that kick drum, you know, I might pull up some of the higher frequencies that you don't really hear here like that, like
Mm-hmm.
on that kick drum, but just allow it cut through a little bit so you get more of like that that they call it that beater sound. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and even with the low end, it's like you could boost like 60 hertz and like yeah, you could hear that if you got a sub. But like if you don't got a sub, you're not gonna hear that 60 hertz. So you might have to double that. You might have to go 120 hertz. You might have to go 240 hertz and boost there. You know what I'm saying? That'll give you, you know, at the end of the day, you know, what you're looking for. Um, you know, but ultimately, like just paying attention to detail, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to, you know, those sonics and things that of that nature, like, you know, it's important. And that's kind of, you know, just going back to these records,
Yeah.
it's a certain intention with these records that I feel like sometimes, you know, we've talked about it like it's been missing with just how microwavable some of the music is, but just overall,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like some of that attention to detail is coming back because people are noticing that we keep going back to these 90s and these 2000s records and these 80s records and these 70s records and all of that. And at a certain point in time, we got to make new music. We got to make the new music, the new classics, the new stuff that, you know, people want to sample, you know what I'm saying, 20, 30, 40 years from now, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because we 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 using a lot of the same music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why, bro. That's why I'm telling you, bro. That's why that folded record, like that shit really just stuck out to me because it was like it reminded me of like that old Beacock shit when they was taking them one shots, and it's like that rhythm of that guitar is staying the same. It's staying the same, and then he just built all this music around it, but he still put the modern, like he still had some modern elements in there, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. And that's the thing I
oh,
think is the key, right? You can take some elements and excuse me, you can take some elements, you know, from those eras and from some of those records that we like, and you can modernize it you know what I'm saying, but still allow it to have some feeling to where,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one thing that I notice is like being someone who like in the records, right? One thing I notice is that you could take the same sample and you could put 5 different sets of drums on it, and depending on what set of drums is on it, it's some people that their palette as far as music not being as expansive, like they'll think that, you know what I'm saying, oh, okay, this sample with these trap drums on it, oh, like, yeah, it's up to date now, or like, yeah, this is what I'm used to
Mm-hmm.
listening to, so this sounds good. But you take that same sample, you know what I'm saying, and let's say you put some boom bap drums over it, or let's say, you know, like you put some more uh like kind of R&B, like you know, like Jermaine Dupri type drums or something like that on it, then it's like, oh, like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this, or it's out of date. But it could be the same melodic content. It could be the same
Mm-hmm.
sample. It could be, you know, the same instruments, all of that. But something as simple as that can make people tune out, or can make people feel like, oh, this is dated, or whatever the case may be. And so
Mm-hmm.
like that's something that I noticed with like the idea of modernizing stuff. Sometimes it's really just the smallest things where you can kind of like, I don't want to say trick or manipulate people, but a lot of music is really like um the best word that I could use is like magic or like sorcery, in terms of like you're finding a way to get people's attention and to keep people's attention by using melodies, frequencies, cadences, all of these things. And the best people that do this, you know, they know how to. I mean, there's not necessarily a step-by-step formula, but they know the things that work and the things that are important, that catch our ears and that catch our attention. And they know how to, you know, add multiple of these things, you know, within a song to get you. Like, for instance, one thing that I feel like some of the older songs had that was important, that some of the newer songs don't necessarily have sometimes, is that you have more than just one hook. And what I mean by that is, not only do you have vocal hooks, there's a such thing as musical hooks too.
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, musical hooks, motifs, you know, like counter melodies. Like, you have things in a production to where like back in the day, you might have a song where like not only do you know the hook, you know the bass line, like
Mm-hmm.
you know like the lead guitar part, you know what I'm saying? Like you can hum the keyboard part. So it's like you have multiple things that are catchy, that's catching your attention, that got you addicted to this song. Whereas now some of the songs, I would just say, because for some of the songs that instrumentation isn't there, it's like you're relying solely on, you know, like just the beat knocking and the 808 knocking, and just the chorus, you know, of the song being repetitive, or them repeating the same words. So it's just like you're not being pulled in the same way as you would be pulled in like on an old Michael Jackson song, or on an old, you know, like because we mentioned Prince, like an old Prince song, or you know, an old, you know, like Stevie Wonder song or something like that, because you have all of these other ways that you can get to people, and that you can get people's attention, and that you can keep people's attention with music, that ultimately, you know, you don't have to just rely on, oh, like I got the simplest song, you know, I only use 4 sounds, whatever, you know. And it's a simplicity is good, but one thing I don't like is people act like, you know, it has to be stupid simple for something to be a hit, or for something to be good, or for something to work.
Hey, because but you got to understand though. You know you got this foolish excuse of, hey bro, I gotta keep it simple and keep it open for the artist to write to. Nah, you just can't play no music. Just call it what it
the
is.
the the word is arrangement. So like
Yeah.
one thing back in the day that was very important was arrangement. So like when it comes to arrangement is what allows you to, like, you can have a full band, drums, keys, bass, guitar, saxophone, whatever the case may be, plus a full orchestra, plus background singers, whatever, and you not get to a place where you ever feel drowned out by the music, or you feel like too much is going on, because things are coming in and out at the right time. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
might have a horn line that plays for, you know what I'm saying, 2 seconds during the song and never comes back. You might have a string crescendo, you know what I'm saying, or a tremolo string part or something that only plays at a certain point in time of the song and it don't never come back. You know what I'm saying? Like there are those little things with arrangement that you can do to make a song interesting while still having parts of it be open to where the music breathes. Because the music breathing is important. You know what I'm saying? Like from a perspective of like let's say a painter, like the empty space on the canvas is as important as the space, you know what I'm saying, with the color and the shading and all of that. Like especially like when you talk about abstract paintings or like minimalist paintings, like it's like they draw your attention to the space. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that, I would say that people take some of that, you know what I'm saying, with the simplistic production, but they don't realize that one thing sometimes that makes that space more important is you have points in times where things fill up and then they come back down again. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
cause it's like how I say, like when I be on live in the morning cooking up with everybody, I be saying like, okay, I'm finna make a loop, an 8 bar loop. And what's gonna help is we're gonna start doing textural changes as we start to arrange this, like what to drop in, what to drop out. And so a listener don't get ear fatigue. And I know Corey done said this, but knowing your spots when to add ear candy. When, like you say, okay, prime example, the pre-hook, before the hook comes in, I might do like a counter melody with a bell or something to like get it melodic. And then that last bar before it come out, we gonna drop the drums. And then that lead gonna like carry you in. But it's like knowing where to put, what I'm saying, certain things so people don't get ear fatigue and they don't get tired, because this is the whole goal of a song, is to do this, not to do this.
Yeah,
So that's my take on that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's talk about a couple other songs
Okay.
from this playlist. Uh Also wanted to highlight that the Friday song. What's it
That
called
shit
again?
that shit hard. Oh look, it's crazy you said that it started playing. Saving My Love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So one thing I really like about Friday is that uh
Appreciate that, Corey. Appreciate the super chat.
he has a lot of layers in his music, and he's one of them people that like he'll layer his voice and kind of create his own choir, like or kind of chorus sound just by like stacking a bunch of his vocals to where it sounds like a choir with like 20 different people, but it's just his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And like he knows a way to like manipulate his voice and sing, with different tonality and sing one take close to the mic, sing one take further away from the mic, like, and then put it all together in a way that it sounds like it's 15, 20 people, but it's just him. And that's one thing that I really like about his music, because, again, those layers and those background vocals, they're important. There's this documentary um, you know, I want to say it's called 50 Feet from Stardom. But basically, the documentary is about background singers that never got their credit,
Okay.
but essentially just how a lot of the records that we grew up on, especially like the records like our parents grew up on, like from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. A lot of these records had a lot of the same background singers adding texture to these records to the point that if you go back and listen to a lot of the older like records from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, what you'll notice is it may be a song by a specific artist, but the background singers might actually be the ones that sing the hook, and the artist might just ad lib the hook.
Yeah, cause Genuine don't sing no backgrounds.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Genuine don't sing no backgrounds, and then too, cause he don't do a lot. But Ronald Isley, like that Eternal album, I don't know if you know, but he died. He died. Man, bro, probably been dead about 10 years. But his name is Big Jim. Big Jim used to sing all them backgrounds for them Isley albums. But the cool thing about that is though, it adds so much texture. When you
Yeah,
got them
even
two, them different voices like that,
yeah,
it's a texture. Like it be like, ooh. Cause then too with Ron on some of them albums, Avant singing his backgrounds. Like he'll get real singers to
yeah, yeah,
sing
yeah,
it, but it's like it's a texture. Like some singers, they just really sound good singing lead. But then too though, he come from a group. And back then the leader gonna sing the lead and everybody else is gonna do the shoo wop the wop the wop
yeah,
in the
yeah.
background or what have you. But it's a great dynamic when it's done right.
And the
It's
thing is,
great.
it encourages people to sing along too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like if you notice, like a lot of these like there's a lot of these records that are moments that people love. That have like that. That layered vocal of like a bunch of different people. You know what I'm saying? Even from a simplistic perspective, like a song like "This Is How We Do It,"
Yeah.
like just how like it's like you have, what I'm saying, a aspect where you might just have your friends in the studio and
Yep.
everything ain't perfect, but you tell them, yo, like, get in the booth with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, sing this hook with me, whatever. Like,
Hey,
and
you
then
see
it
what
encourages people to sing along. Go ahead.
you see what Brian said? Kind of like Seventh Street with some of Chris Brown records. Facts.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, like, I think that that's something that's important, like, Troy Taylor as well, like, is big with that. Like on the records that he writes, like he'll sing
Jonte.
backgrounds. Yeah,
Jonte.
Jonte Austin, and so it's like the artist may, at the end of the day, leave their backgrounds in there to where the average person don't know that that's their, that there's their backgrounds. Like when I don't know if y'all remember in the verses with Mario and Omarion, you know what I'm saying, and Mario was talking about like, them ain't even your vocals. That's little Steve vocals.
Steve.
That's
Steve
Steven
Russell.
Russell from the group Troop.
True.
He was working
Mm-hmm.
with the Underdogs, and they did that Gotta Be record for B2K.
Yep.
And if you go listen to his demo, it sounds a
Sound
lot
just
like
like
the
him, bro.
original because they kept
Sound
a
just
lot of
like
his
him.
vocals in there. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like having them other vocals and those
Eric
background
Dawkins.
textures. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Eric
exactly. Like
Dawkins.
like a lot of their those underdog records, like you can hear Tank background vocals on some of them underdog records.
Yeah.
Like if you go listen to like Omarion O,
Oh,
like
that's
you
him.
can hear
That's
Tank in
him
the
and
background.
Harvey. Cause
Yeah, yeah,
Harvey
yeah,
doing
yeah.
I'm like,
Um,
oh my God. But that's why it sounds so full. Because
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah,
three vocalists on
yeah,
that thing, bro. And it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
them harmony notes, man, is it giving color. It's you forgot the main one though. The song we talk about all the time. That nice and slow.
yeah,
Like folks don't know, like that's jagged edge, that's the twins up under there, like singing that shit. But that's why it sound and it feels so good.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's those things that you don't know why it's making you feel the way if it feels. And like I said, that goes back to what I was saying, like about how like it's like sorcery, it's like magic because people don't know why they're being affected in this way. But it's like you can shape this experience that people are having simply by, what I'm saying, adding these different elements to where the average person is not gonna know that, what I'm saying, you might have like, other people singing backgrounds, or
mm-hmm.
you might have other people doing the harmonies, you might have other people doing ad libs, whatever. The average person is not gonna know that. And some people
Oh,
might feel like, oh, like average person can't hear this, they're not gonna know this, or they're not gonna be able to tell. But it's like you're not always able to hear everything, but we feel music
feel it,
first before we hear it.
feel it. Yep,
You know what I'm saying? Even
feel it.
like there's people who, like uh, um who are deaf or who are hard of hearing that, like they can't hear music the way we hear music, but they put their hands up to the speaker just so they can feel the
Feel it.
vibrations.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Brian Baker, that is Troy Taylor on Sweet Lady.
Lady. Yep.
Like he if on his Instagram he has a clip where he solo basically all of his backgrounds that he did on a few songs, and Sweet Lady was one of them, that Troy Taylor did, where, you know, he got his whole, you know, like layered, because he's real big on layering and texturing, you know, those background vocals.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, it's something that people don't always notice, but you feel it.
Mm-hmm. Because once again, at the end of the day, it's just all about texture. It's literally we play a game of texture.
Yeah,
That's all. That's it. It's like textures and when to add this and when to take a texture out and when to put it back. It's like
yeah,
once you once you once you master that shit and layering, that's the whole game.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I I think that it needs to be a situation where um, people approach from a standpoint of not just, all right, like I'm trying to go in here and, you know, I'm just trying to make a hit, or I'm trying to go in here and, you know, like I'm just trying to create a vibe. It's like when people went in the studio back in the day, the first thing they thought was, I'm trying to create a feeling. I'm trying to like create something that at the end of the day, when I put it on, you know what I'm saying, people feel something. Like it's R&B for a reason. It's rhythm and blues. And it's like that blues portion, I feel like gets lost sometimes when it's too heavy on the vibe. Cause we all love a good vibe. We all love something that, you know, like it's catchy and it's cool, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
but that blues portion, like that's what you really feel. You really feel that emotion. That's that David Ruffin. That's that Teddy Pendergrass. That's that Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Talk that. Talk
that's
that.
that you can feel the emotion that was in the room when they singing it. Like you feel like they
Mm.
right there in
Right in your
front of you,
face.
because that emotion is coming out of the music. You know what I'm saying? Like that Bobby Womack, like, you know, like they're taking real life situations and turning them into songs. Like Bobby Womack saying he overheard a conversation and a woman was on the phone, you know what I'm saying, with the person that she was dating. And she said to the guy, if you think you lonely now, wait until the
Wait
night, and
until the
hung up
night.
the phone. And he was like, ooh, that's a song right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like whether it's your own emotion or like channeling the emotion of, you know, like something else that you saw, something else you experienced, or something else that you heard, you know, like putting that into the music, that emotion and that feeling, because it really comes through and you can really hear it. Because sometimes it's those songs where it's like you might just be like, I don't know what it is about this song, but it feel like it got crack in it. Like it feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
something about this song that I don't even know if it's a single element. I don't know if it's a certain sound. I don't know if it's the way they sung it, but like it just feel like it's something about this song that I can't stop playing it. A lot of times that just might be the feeling that was in the room or the intention that the person went in with, and you can feel that. Like you could feel that
Mm-hmm.
in the music. You know what I'm saying? From
Mm-hmm.
even something as simple as like the instruments. Like it's like some of them songs like back in the day where like they might have an organ playing, and it's like you could feel that organ
Yeah.
crying. Like you could
He
feel
laying
that
on he
that
laying on them.
emotion.
He laying on them notes. He laying on them.
Like
Yep.
if you listen to, man, like you go back and listen to them Al Green songs, like I'm so tired of being alone. You know what I'm saying? Like or
What's that? You got to be good to me.
yeah, got to be good to me.
Yeah.
Simply blue, beautiful. Let's stay
Yeah.
together. It's like you can feel the emotion
Hey
there.
man, what Al say? If I gave you my love, oh man, oh, a whole lot of love, but you feel it, and when he be
Yeah,
like, you got to be good to me, it's like, oh man, come on, Al, don't do it, bro. And then you know what's crazy? Ain't nothing going on but a guitar and the organ.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
We ain't introduced no drums. We ain't the string ain't came in. It's just like that voice, that soul, that cry. Like what I was telling you when you was comping that guitar earlier. I said, hey man, that man on that oil. He on that oil. He got them cigarettes rent due. That woman getting on his nerve. and but you could feel it. You could
Yeah.
feel it, and like that be my thing, bro. Like that's why I be a disconnect with me when I be listening to a lot of stuff. That's why I guess I be living in the past with music, because it's like I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I don't feel it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I like I just like to feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like I like listening to a song, and like I can go back in my head and know where I'm at the first time I heard it. Or like when I listen to like that Minnie Rippleton, like that la 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 la, like I remember being in high school with my little girlfriend and we just riding and singing that shit on 75, coming through the
Yeah.
city, seeing all the lights. Like just being able to have that recollection of what a song like, bro, you gotta understand, music is the soundtrack of our lives.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But this shit now, it ain't the soundtrack of my life. I'm still playing shit I heard in '09. Because it's like it's no feeling. But
Yeah, but
like
like I said, that's why I wanted to send you that playlist though,
oh yeah,
because
yeah, no,
because
that playlist was
because
nice.
because again, like I feel like one just overall, I feel like one it never left. I mean, it just it's I would say you have to do a little bit more searching now to find some of that music and find some of that feeling. But I sent that playlist because I think that it is coming back to mainstream and like to the more visible artists and the music that is more popular. I think that we're going to slowly start to see a shift, like it's slowly starting to happen. It's going to take some time, but I think that we're slowly getting back to that. As people trying, as people working to create those feelings, working to create those moments. So I'm gonna go through a few of the comments because we've been talking a little bit and
Hell yeah,
we've been getting a lot of feedback on here. Um, so Corey Quills, what's good? Corey Quills said, "Real natural, little as possible. Um, no, little as possible. No auto tune. Vocal harmony is mesmerizing and healing." Yeah, I mean, I think auto tune is a great tool, you know what I'm saying, at times, like, but also like it can easily take the feeling out of a vocal if you use it too much. Like sometimes some of those old songs, like you might have harmonies that rub a little bit, which just means that one may be a little sharp, one may be a little flat, but it's a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Or like you might have a lead vocal where, man, do you?
You
This
want
is
me to
what
tell
I
you who
don't think
good at
people don't hold on, hold on. Just
all right.
let me say this real quick, and then you can
Okay.
go ahead. But you know how many old songs that like had these moments in it that we sing to the top of our lungs, that a singer went flat or they went sharp, but like the feeling that was there, like if you auto tune that shit, like it probably would take away from some of the feeling if the note was perfect, or if they vibrato, you know what I'm saying, like was corrected too much, or you know what I'm saying, like it's like some of those mistakes or some of those things in there, like that imperfectness, like even just that natural swing, like all of that, like adds to like the mojo. It just adds to like just it has a certain je ne sais quoi that's just undescribable that is important.
Hey, cause you want me to tell you want me I mean, fuck it, ain't nothing gonna happen. But you want me to tell you who's the godfather of that shit?
Who?
Of singing imperfect, but he sound perfect as shit.
That man up in Cook County.
Robert Sylvester Kelly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Robert Sylvester Kelly. It's perfectly imperfect. But one thing, it's a feeling, it's a vibe, and it just sounds so good. But
Yeah,
nah, R. Kelly is the perfect example of that shit, man.
yeah, yeah,
It's the perfect example.
yeah. I'm gonna go through a couple more of these comments. Intricate said, "Funny how we trying to make shit sound quote unquote clean for decades. Now we're adding saturation and dirt." I mean, the funny thing about that is that you know a lot of times with a lot of them old records, like the saturation and the dirt came from the equipment or came from the way that the shit was recorded. And it's like now we're trying to add that, we're trying to add that back in with plugins and stuff like that. And some of the plugins and emulations are good. But something about, you know, like using the actual gear, you know what I'm saying, and it's something that you can get that I don't care what nobody says. Like plugins can get close, but just can't emulate because you know it's voltage. Like
Circuits, like yeah.
it's literally a process. It's literally energy moving. Like so, it's like in digital, it's a picture. It's a replication of ones and zeros. It's trying to replicate what's happening with physical voltage. So it's like at the end of the day, it'll never be perfect. We're the closest that we've ever been. Don't get me wrong. Like the plugins can get you way closer than you ever could have got back in the day. But still, if you have the ability to side by side, like listen to a piece of gear and then look at the plugin emulation of the same thing, you'll notice that there's slight differences. And even if they sound somewhat the same, like you'll notice that like once you put it in the context of a song or once you blend it with something else or like you start, you know what I'm saying, like messing around with it, that you know the stuff from the actual gear, it takes better, you know what I'm saying, to the rest of like everything gelling because of like that harmonic saturation, that harmonic distortion that's pleasing to our ears. um
That's that full sail education coming out your ass.
hey man, you know, they taught me a few things, but you know, I did my own research too, man. Yeah, nah. A Major said October London has that old school sound on lock. Yeah, I love October London's music.
My
That she
sister,
keeps calling me. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. He got a few dope records.
what's that one he got that take me to your residence? It's
I
a
think is that what it's called? I want to say that's what
and
it's called.
she said and he said it's old, it's an old because the video he like in black and white. My sister put me on to him.
Yeah,
She played the song. I was like, oh, he's singing.
yeah,
Like sing. And then when I seen Bruh Smoke Newports, I said, oh yeah, he can sing. Cause you think
yeah,
about all the Motown singers, all of them smoking ports and drinking liquor.
yeah. Because even something as simple as um like when a singer's voice crack. Like one of the production techniques that like people did from back in the day that people don't realize is like sometimes what the producer do is they'll purposefully put a song on the edge of somebody's vocal range just so it forces them to sing all the way out, and their voice might crack a little bit, but it forces them to sing with more passion or more emotion because they got to get those
They
words
gotta
out
push.
and
They
they
gotta
got to hit,
push.
they got to push to hit those notes. So it's like you'll notice sometimes with some of these like older songs, when some of these singers sing them, it's like they can't hit the notes like they used to. Like, and it's not because some of them it's not because they can't sing no more. Some of them is because they had to struggle to hit it that day because it was already on the edge of their range for real, for real. And so it's like now they might need to take that song down a key or two when they perform it. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like
hey, yeah. Because when you go to hear a lot of these folks live, yeah, that song has been transposed down.
when like that recent performance with A. Marie, right? Like, and people was talking about it, whatever case may be, and it's like I feel bad because as an artist, a producer, like I know all the things that go into performing live and all the things that people don't know that can make it harder for you. So like, let's say if you're more of a studio singer, and like let's say like live, you know what I'm saying, you might not be like the best singer, but you can still sing. It's like everything can affect how you sound on that particular day, how well you hear yourself, like, you know what I'm saying, in your mix. Um, like how much water you drunk that day, like how much vocal rest you had, like whether or not they take, like take the tone down some, you know what I'm saying, like take the key down. And I just feel like in that situation, they definitely should have took that song down like a key or two for her to make it easier for her to sing because like it's like you can't it's like you can't
They
hit those notes like that
yeah.
It's not that like one thing is not an easy song to sing to begin with. Like
No.
I've heard a lot of singers say themselves like they've covered that song live and they've had it's given them trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But it's like the feeling of the recording though. If they recorded it like 2 keys lower to where it was more natural for her to sing, it wouldn't
Hmm.
have had the same feeling. It wouldn't have sounded the same.
Oh no, no,
Like
because you got to think the key that it's in is bright. So you
yeah,
take that thing down because, and you know what? I've read something, and they was in there cooking, and Jermaine was like, "Yeah, take that shit up like 2 keys," and I don't forgot what it became, but like that changed the whole like mood of the whole track. So now that key shit is very 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 important.
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Take a few more, man. I know you got work to do, man. I ain't finna hold you up, bro. Take like two more.
Um,
And everybody that's in the live, man, if you guys could do me a quick favor, man, please like the live video and subscribe to the channel. If you hadn't, man, the channel goal is 14,000 subscribers. We at like 13.2, so need all of you good people to get there, man. And I appreciate all y'all being here, man. Y'all could be any place in the world on this Wednesday night, but y'all here with us just talking shop, man. We greatly appreciate you.
Brian Baker. Brian Baker said, "Man, the imperfections that goes back to the blues and the rhythm and blues, like you said, exactly. Like those imperfections, in the song are important. Even like now, like in production, like one thing that me and King talk about sometimes is like it's great to be able to quantize everything and make everything be together, but it's like sometimes it's cool when you play something straight in, like let's say you play something straight in from a keyboard, or like let's say even if you play something in your DAW, um, and you don't quantize it. Like let's say you could quantize 90% of the beat, but like let's say you have a couple elements that aren't quantized, or like you purposefully slide them on the grid a little bit. Like it could just give you just a little bit more feeling,
Mm-hmm.
like something like as simple as like Jay Dilla was big for like quantizing certain elements of his music and then leaving other elements unquantized, or even quantizing at different values. So like the hi-hats have more swing than the kick and the snare do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
or like I don't quantize the snare, but I quantize my kicks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like little things like that, you know what I'm saying, just add to that feel, because like when you have a live band, it's like the
Nobody's
imperfections,
gonna
the
be perfect.
the
Yeah.
fact that everybody isn't all perfectly in time, like
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes it, it like that's what makes it special, is that you don't have everything, you know what I'm saying, like completely on the one all the way. It's like
But
you won't
that what
have that
James.
that swing.
But that what James Brown was talking about. That's how. That's when you find the groove. That's when you, because like if you listen to that shit, all that shit is throw like a motherfucker. But it's like, but that comes from like when I played the harp, and we played we was playing some jazz shit like that Scott Joplin two rag shit or whatever. Like, bro, because in class we used to have a metronome. Like everybody had their own personal metronome or whatever to keep it. But like that was literally like when we played that jazz shit, that was really like when the teacher was encouraging us, like, nah, no metronomes. Like, I'm not clapping, like, even when she up there conducting, because if anybody know, like, the conductor, like, she's doing the beats for you. Like, that's one, that's two, that's three, that's four. But like with that shit, she was up there just snapping
Yeah,
because it was just all about like just flow. Then you flow. Then you flow. And it's like everybody, like you say, not starting and stopping at the same time, but it's like, how can I say it? An unorganized, organized mess.
yeah,
But it's like a throw. It's a feel to that shit.
because it's like there's so many ways that you can manipulate emotion, like within music. And one of the things that with popular music that's mostly sequenced. One of the things that sometimes we miss out on that you don't get, unless you go see, like music live, is that you were talking about like jazz music and classical music and how you have a conductor. Like there are points in times where like to heighten the emotion, the conductor may raise the tempo, you know what I'm saying, of the piece of music
Mm-hmm.
for a second in time to make it more heightened, or
Mm-hmm.
they might slow it down a little bit
Mm-hmm.
for a certain point in time just to exaggerate, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. So allowing that music, you know what I'm saying, to have those moments where the tempo changes like slightly. Like even like it's like if you have a band, you know what I'm saying, and the drummer might push the tempo a little bit, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying,
yeah,
might
yeah, yeah,
push
yeah.
it to be a little bit faster, like they a little ahead of the beat, or then you have some drummers that drag a little bit, like they a little bit behind the beat, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, and it can add to the overall feeling. Sometimes it can mess it up if they too behind or they too, ahead of
Mm-hmm.
the beat. But when it's just right,
Yeah.
like it adds a little bit of sauce that you just don't get when you play into a click track. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And even it's a way to do it. The best musicians can play to a click track and can still add swing.
Swing.
Like,
Yep.
cause it's like every musician can't do that to where like they can play to a steady tempo and still find a way like to
Yeah.
add that swing or to add, you know what I'm saying, that
And,
extra little bit of feeling to it.
and like, cause the whole time you talking, I'm thinking about church, literally in church, because like in church, them drummers, like I've seen the choir director look at the drum, and be like, and he finna pick it up, and then too like with them tracks, bro, gospel music in the church, they love playing with them click tracks, but when it's executed right, when that drummer and that bass player like that, cause they're the rhythm section, when they can do what they do with them clicks, oh my god. Oh my God! It's a hell of a blend. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a it's a hell of a blend, bro. Last one, bro. Take the last one. Last question of the night. Last question.
I don't know if we got any more questions.
Okay.
We got a bunch of comments. We got a bunch of people chiming in.
Take one more. Take one. Take the last one. I know you got to get to it. Yeah, Questlove changed the swing for a show to get D'Angelo's attention in the crowd. Of course, that led to the Soulquarian movement.
Yeah, I mean, uh, uh, Brian Baker is talking about Questlove. Um, so like I remember Questlove saying something about how Jay Dilla changed the way that he like played the drums because
Mm-hmm.
of the way he would do his swing on his beats, like that it made him want to swing his drums different, like when he played live, to where like he wanted to play like how that MPC swing is, you know what I'm saying? Like in the way that
Mm-hmm.
Dilla manipulated it, like
Mm-hmm.
he was like he wanted to play that way, like he wanted to have that, that feeling, and it's like something that a lot of people don't realize, like because I mentioned Jay Dilla a couple times, but um his influence, especially with uh like the neo soul music, like going like like late 90s going into the 2000s, like from D'Angelo's like to the Jill Scotts to the Erica Badu's, all of
Badu's.
that. Like the way that, you know what I'm saying, like he infused, like them drum beats with that swing with it. And
Hey,
then, you know what I'm saying, with them roads and the bass lines and all of
didn't
that.
you
Like,
didn't you know by Erica Badu is still like one of my favorite tracks? Like I can get high to that shit all goddamn day, man. Yeah, nah, it's crazy.
yeah, it's like some of them songs that just had them good loops. It could be like a 1 or 2 bar loop, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
jamming. It just feel
Feel
good.
good.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Mm.
you
Make you
know
think of make you think about that high tech shit, not on it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm. Yeah. But Cannon was even saying like high tech like neo soul type of chopping, like You know what I'm saying? Like vibes and shit like that. Like, nah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And Indy, I don't have a date yet. Album coming soon.
I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. He over there, he can't stop producing his ass off. All right, like he done had like 500 guitar sessions, but I ain't gonna lie, that
that
guitar he played
th-
tonight was unreal.
that don't got nothing to do with nothing. I don't got a date yet, so I'm waiting for some things to come through, whatever. But we
He
looking at
fired me. He
we
fired
look
me.
we looking at end of August, beginning of September for the project date. And right now, my first single at least, we looking at the end of July. But you know what I'm saying. I don't have official dates yet, so I'm not dropping no dates until you know what I'm saying things are set in stone. But that's what we're looking at right now. Uh, what's the best MPC producer? Man, it's so many, like, and it's so many different styles. Like
Yeah, that's a hard one.
it's hard to really even say because people do different things with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
way High Tech use the MPC versus it, you know, versus you know the way a Dr. Dre use it or a DJ Quick or Battle Cat
Oh shit.
or you know
Even like, bro, even Rodney Jerkins. Like the shit Rodney Jerkins was like,
yeah,
his shit's different, but it's like, nah, he's chopping up on the MP.
or like Just Blaze, you
Or
know what I'm
or
saying? Like the way he used the
or watch
MPC.
this. With that Mary J. Blige everything. That Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. The way they use
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
60. It's crazy. But I think the biggest thing is with everybody that we name, the reason why everybody got their own individuality, and there's no knock to no MPC user in the chat or anywhere out there, is that they were blank. So they had to fill them up. Everybody's MPC had their identity. Mine is going to sound different from yours. Yours is going to sound different from mine. That's what made that shit so special. They were samplers.
That that and like different people had different tastes in records. So because they were mostly sampling like your source
Mm-hmm.
material, but then also the way you chopped it. Because like we were just talking about High Tech in the most recent episode of Backtrack with Don Cannon. You know, me and King been watching every episode. We've been tuned in to that Backtrack with Don Cannon. It's just great, you know, how they go behind the scenes with the producers and talk about, you know, some of the records that they did. But High Tech was on there and he was talking about how like you know a lot of people wanted to go to the popular record spots to dig, but he was like he liked digging in his hometown in
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati because he would find records that wouldn't nobody have, and he was like, I ain't want the ones with the plastic on them. I wanted to dig in the bin, you know what I'm saying, that's down on the floor, you know what I'm saying, with the dirty, dusty records that I know, you know what I'm saying, people don't probably have, or dig in the dollar bin or whatever the case may be. Like so it's like that helped, you know what I'm saying, shape the sound because it's like, okay, he using some samples and some breaks that other people don't have, or even some of the people like it's like they may use a popular sample or popular break, but they flip it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? They use their own, you know what I'm saying, spin or put their own spin to it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something like now that because we have a lot of access to everything and everybody has access to a lot of the same sounds, it doesn't encourage as much creativity, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's good to, you know, to be able to have different sounds, but also to be able to limit yourself sometimes and say, okay, how can I really learn this plugin or how can I really like learn these sounds? Like, you know, something King like a see me do before is like I like to like pull up a plugin sometimes
He finna go
and
through
I'm
that
like,
motherfucker.
let me like yeah, like let me go through it, let me turn the knobs, whatever the case may be, like to get like I may start with a preset or I might start from scratch. And I'm like, let me get to a sound, you know what I'm saying, you know, that I want. And like in your process, sometimes like presets can get you like, you know, going fast, but sometimes tweaking stuff can get you things that you never would have imagined. You know what I'm saying? So my kind of thing is it's like although I may use presets, I usually try to take at least one sound in the beat that I tweak or that I do something to make my own. So like a lot of times, like my bass lines, like I start from scratch, you know what I'm saying, and then I tweak it a little bit, like to get the bass that I want. Like I could use, it could be any. 9 times out of 10, I use a Moog, plugin, but it could be any Moog plugin. I just pull up a Moog plugin. I turn a couple oscillators on, you know what I'm saying, like play with the envelopes, play with the filters, you know what I'm saying, play with the resonance, all of that till I get kind of close to the sound I want. And then on top of that, you can add effects on top of it. You can add some saturation, add some distortion, add some EQ, you know what I'm saying, to further like, personalize it. But those are the type of things that, that kind of set you apart, you know what I'm saying, and being able to just kind of take from some of like the past in terms of the fact that all of those producers had distinct sounds. Like we knew an Alchemist beat when we heard it. We knew a Pharrell or a Neptune's beat when we heard it. You know what I'm saying? We knew a Just Blaze beat when we heard it. We knew a Pete Rock beat when we heard it. We knew a Dark Child beat when we heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like we knew these people's like production. We knew a Teddy Riley track when we heard it. Like we knew these people's productions by like their sound choices, and a lot of it was them honing in on like because the way I like to look at it is you want to bring people into your world. So like if you just use presets and you just use everything factory by the box all the time, it's like you're not really fully expressing yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a way to like add some color to where it's like, all right, you letting people know, okay, these are the type of snares I like, these are the type of kicks I like, these are the type of keyboard sounds, synthesizers I like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And even if you keep all the sound stock, it's like the way you program, you know what I'm saying? Like programming some stuff a little bit different to where it's like, all right, like, I play my chords a little bit different, like your voicings, you know what I'm saying? Like when you play chords, like that's something as well that even if, let's say you made a beat, you use all stock sounds, it's like it's multiple ways to play the same chords. So it's like you could be like, okay, I play my chords with in this way. Like I like third inversion. So it's like I'm gonna
cause can't
play, you
nobody
know what I'm
play like
saying?
Devontae. You know
Yeah,
Devontae
like you know a Jodeci track because Devontae's voicings and the way
make
he
you want to
plays his
quit,
chords,
make you want to
it's not
quit.
it's like no other. Like him, I would say Devontae and Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder. Stevie Wonder's voicings like on his chords, like it's like he make you think that he playing some new chords that don't exist. Cause like I listen to some Stevie Wonder music and I just be like he went from that chord to that chord. And it's like, how did he think of that, bro? Like it don't, it's like stuff that is like the way that he puts it
Yeah.
together. It just be like,
Or
bro, like
or
it's
even
not
like the
fair,
way
bro.
Brian have turnarounds, like like oh, that's a Brian, turnaround. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
even
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
underdogs, like yeah, I know, that's their chords, that's they that's
yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
progression or what have you. So
Even the way like they roll
they
like
bass,
they bass
they
lines and
bass,
stuff, like
yep,
they
and
slides
the
and
way
stuff,
that
like
and that
that's the underdogs.
yeah, like
Even the
it's
rhythm, even
yeah,
the rhythm. It's like certain producers had a rhythm or
mm-hmm,
had their own like bop or had their own swing. Like the underdogs, they had their tempo, they
mm-hmm,
had their cadence, they had their rhythm. Different producers like DJ Premier got his swing, you know what I'm saying, to his beats to where it's like I know a DJ Premier beat like by, you know what I'm saying, his drum sounds and the way like his beat swing. It's like a very distinct, you know what I'm saying, like swing that he got to his beats. You know what I'm saying? Like so all of those things just like personalized, you know what I'm saying, the track that you can add a lot of the new sounds and a lot of the new elements, but you can still find a way, like to personalize it and to make it your own in some type of way.
uh,
Intricate, yeah, the all of these you can't see all of them, but I have a few different
Bill,
sound absorbers in the room. And yeah, the bass traps are homemade. All of the
Hey,
sound is always
that
homemade.
one
My brother
hard. That
actually
all
made
wood
them.
motherfucker. Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, the diffuser. Yeah, the
that
diffuser in
motherfucker
the
hard.
back.
Leak made that too, didn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But made it, you know what I'm saying? Cut the wood
Yeah.
himself, pause.
hey, hey, man,
You know,
we gotta get Leak on here one day, man. We gotta get that fool on here.
yeah,
He
yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
oil. When he on the oil,
Um,
he on the oil. Babyface. I always put the count in before his beats come on. Nah, that's a fact. That is a fact, A Major. Cause like on that Bobby stuff, the
hmm
drum machine just running for the for the music coming out. Good samples, good drum.
and one thing I like about that too, like going back to like some of that older music, like as you mentioned, Babyface. Like first thing I thought of was that Bobby Brown, that Roni, right? Like the musical intro in the
Mhm.
beginning, like the musical intros that they used to have that they don't really have no more. It's like it set the scene. Like it's like the beginning of a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you set the scene. You know what I'm saying? It might open up. You know what I'm saying with just a
Motherfucking
visual. You know what I'm
motherfucking
saying?
guy.
Like
That let's chill. That boom
uh
boom boom
yeah
boo. Let's chill. Doo, doo.
yeah
Oh man. Oh god damn. Like them first, like you say, them 30 seconds. You might rewind that shit before the song even
like
drop.
nice and slow. Like the lead coming in the beginning. Like it's like it's those things that like is distinct
Mm-hmm.
and that catch people's ears immediately to where it's like you might feel like, oh, like I need this track to be, you know what I'm saying, 2 minutes long, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. But you might miss the fact that, all right, like, yeah, some songs it's good when you come straight in, but then sometimes it's good to set the scene, like just stay a while, take your shoes off, you know what I'm saying, get comfortable, bring people in, you know what I'm saying. Like that's what
Yeah.
I feel like is something that people don't realize sometimes. They trying
Yeah.
to get straight to the point. They don't make it cinematic enough. Like it's like, all right, like paint
Hey,
the picture for me. Like walk me through it. Like give me the details,
hey,
you know?
even fucking Burn. Mm, It's like and he talking, like the little skit before the song come in. It's like, oh man, come on, man. But like you say, like all that theatric just make you just like, yeah. It set the moment up. It set it up.
Think of like Mary J. Blige Be Without You, like how I start
His
with the sound
theme,
effect.
Cork Triton, by the way. It's a Triton sound.
It start with the steam, like, and then the piano come in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that run fair on the string arrangement, man. Run fair. Hey,
Exactly.
hey, that bridge cold too. That bridge is cold. With that organ, they took that
Yeah.
motherfucker to church, boy. And them drums
Yeah.
smack. Hey, them might be some of the hardest drums B Cox used, bro. That boom, 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 boom. That shit hard, bro. That shit hard, man.
Yeah. And Dave Pensado mixed the hell out of
Oh,
that
that's who
record too,
mixed
though.
it.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that
he
record
put his
clean.
foot in that motherfucker, bro. He put his foot.
Cause I want to say, I don't know if it's still up on YouTube or not, but it was a point in time where he didn't have a whole mix on like breakdown, but like he broke down like a part
For
like of the
real?
mix, like um yeah, like cause he used to do them into the layer
Mm-hmm.
videos where he might show you like, oh, I did this effect this way, or this how I
Yeah, I
made
know
this,
because because I seen he had Nicki Minaj Starship up there one day, and he was showing because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was real big with like the vocal delays and all that type of effects, and he was just showing the shit. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Hey, B Cox need to do a breakdown of that motherfucker though. That's
Yeah. A Major said the Rolling Phantom laser point sound was the one
that
that
was in
was in
Burn.
Burn.
No, no, no. I'm talking about the Be Without You for Mary J. Blige. That's it.
The steam, yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
but the
steam that's
Rolling
in there. Yeah,
Phantom
yeah.
sound laser points was that's bro. We really geeks. We calling out keyboards with the with the sounds and the that's crazy.
Man, we just students of the game, which I mean, but like anybody that want to be great, you know what I'm saying, that's aspiring to be great at anything, you got to be a student first. You know, like the best CEO, you know what I'm saying, is the one that's you know what I'm saying, like running a restaurant, for instance. Like the best person to run a restaurant is the person that done worked in it. Like the person that they done been back there in the kitchen before,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? They done been busting tables before, you know what I'm saying? Like they done seen it, you know what I'm saying? They done been a host, they done sat people, so they done seen all the ins and outs. And it's like you gotta take that time to be a student. Like a lot of people just want to jump straight in. And it's like, all right, man, just sit down, you know what I'm saying, watch some film, you know what I'm saying? Like and study, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, cause at the end of the day, like that's that's what make you
Mm-hmm.
great. Just like, you know, we all have like the ability, you know what I'm saying, to be able to some people pick up on stuff easier than others, but it's like you can't rely just on that. Like you gotta still like even if you naturally talented, it's like you still gotta work on it and hone it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, and sharpen
Oh,
it.
that's a fact. That's a fact. Well, hey, my nigga. It's been a nice chat with you, man. I know you got some work and shit to do, man. So we gonna cut it right here. We gonna pick back up next Monday. So we do this on Mondays and Wednesdays. So y'all bring a friend, tell them to bring another friend, man. And we just sit around and we just talk music and we gonna incorporate more of y'all comments and shit like that, man. And this is gonna be our vibe for Monday and Wednesday, man. And everybody that's in the chat, man,
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you haven't, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need some drum sounds, you see the ticker down there at the bottom. Go to the website, get the new kit, man. It's dope. And for everybody that's in the live, man, if y'all get the kit, I'll give you a free copy of the ASR 10 drums on the house. You fuck with me, I'll fuck with y'all, man. Beat review tomorrow at 9:30. So send out your music, man. And it's the last beat review we gonna do before we gonna start doing the slots because we gonna do the slots, but by us doing the slots, I'm gonna start allowing y'all to come on the screen with me and we're gonna ask you a couple questions about the track, man, make it more personal, more intuitive, and all that good stuff. So, hey man, y'all be blessed, y'all be safe, y'all keep following y'all dreams, man. And we gonna chop it up soon. Appreciate y'all, man.
All right. Love y'all.